For most of your life, people handed you the same three words. You're too much, too sensitive, too intense, too aware. And here's the thing they never understood. While they walked into a room and noticed the furniture, you walked in and noticed who was angry, who was pretending to be calm, and how far you were sitting from the door. What they called too much was never a flaw in your character. It was a skill your mind was forced to build. Psychologists have started using a phrase for it, traumatic intelligence. And by the end of this video, you won't just recognize the signs of it in yourself. You'll understand what it quietly costs you, why your own instincts sometimes lie to you, and how to finally carry this without it carrying you. Let's be honest about the term first, because that honesty matters. Traumatic intelligence isn't a formal diagnosis in a textbook, and trauma does not automatically make anyone smarter. It's a name for something very real, the way a mind sharpens itself under pressure. When a child grows up somewhere unpredictable, they learn to read the smallest signals just to stay safe. The brain, especially the amygdala, the part that scans for threat, gets wired early to catch what most people miss. What comes out the other side looks almost invisible from the outside. On the inside, it runs incredibly deep. So, here are the signs. The first sign is that you can read a room before a single word is spoken. You walk in and something in you goes quiet and alert. You catch the tension sitting in someone's shoulders, the micro-expression that crosses a face for half a second and vanishes. People call this intuition. It isn't. It's pattern recognition. Your brain running a program it wrote a long time ago, back when reading the room was how you knew whether tonight was going to be calm or something else. And this isn't just a nice theory. Researchers at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, led by psychologist Seth Pollack, found that children raised around anger can identify it in a face from far less information than other children need. They spot it faster, at a lower intensity, catching the first flicker of it before anyone else in the room. Not because they were born gifted, because once, catching it early was how they stayed safe. You didn't choose the skill. The room chose it for you. The second sign is that you feel what other people feel, sometimes before they feel it themselves. Someone says, "I'm fine," and you already know they're not. Maybe it's the pause before they answer, the slight tension around their mouth, the way they set a cup down a little too hard. Their words stay polite, but the energy has shifted, and you notice. Psychologists call this hyper-empathy, and it tends to grow in people who once had to track a parent's mood the way a sailor tracks the weather. You learned to feel other people because, at some point, feeling them first was safer than being caught off guard. The third sign is that you stay calm when everything falls apart. While everyone else freezes or spirals, something in you goes clear. You find the exit, you make the call, you decide who needs help first. Researchers describe this as stress inoculation, a nervous system that handles crisis well because crisis was once ordinary. But watch what happens afterward. Once it's over and there's finally no one left to save, that's when your hands shake. That's when the exhaustion hits, or the strange numbness, or the replay that runs all night. You don't fall apart during the emergency, you fall apart in private. After, where nobody sees it. The fourth sign is that you can predict people's reactions before they happen. You know which sentence will make someone defensive when a harmless joke is about to turn into an argument. It looks like social genius, and sometimes it is, but prediction started as protection. If you could see the reaction coming, you could shrink, soften, or disappear before it landed. The problem is that the system never turned off, so now you apologize before anyone is upset. You explain yourself before anyone asks. You manage reactions that have not happened and may never happen at all. The fifth sign is that you notice contradictions other people miss. Someone says they care, but disappears when you need them. Someone smiles while landing a cruel remark. Most people hear the words. You see the pattern underneath. This protects you from manipulation, and it's real intelligence. But here is the part almost nobody teaches. Once your mind finds one contradiction, it starts hunting for more. A single late reply becomes evidence. A tired expression becomes proof that something has changed. So the skill was never just detecting inconsistency. The deeper skill, the one that takes a lifetime, is knowing how much evidence is actually enough.
Quick pause, because these first signs tend to land differently for everyone. Out of the 5 so far, reading the room, feeling others first, staying calm in the storm, predicting reactions, and hunting for contradictions, which one did you learn first, before you even had words for it? Drop the number in the comments, and if you can, the age it started. I read them, and the person who answers right after you is almost always walking the same road. Now, the harder signs, and the part these videos almost never tell you. The 6th sign is that you understand everyone else's emotions better than your own. You know when a friend needs reassurance, when a partner wants space, exactly what wound is hiding under someone's anger. But when someone turns and asks what you need, your mind goes blank. For years, your attention flowed outward because other people's feelings were survival information, and your own were an inconvenience you couldn't afford. So you became the person everyone opens up to, and the person almost no one truly knows. Understanding people, it turns out, is not the same thing as being understood. The 7th sign is the most important, and it's the one that quietly runs your life. You can see danger clearly, but you struggle to recognize safety. You catch the exact moment someone pulls away, but not the 100 quiet moments they stayed. You feel distance instantly and overlook reliability because reliability is quiet and danger is loud. Real safety is almost boring. It's someone keeping a promise, respecting a no, apologizing without turning it back on you. And a mind built around chaos can find those moments strangely uncomfortable because peace asks it to do the one thing it never learned. Stop racing. And that brings us to the part almost every video leaves out. If all you ever hear is how special these traits make you, you're being handed half the truth. Here's the other half. Every one of these abilities runs on the same engine, a nervous system that never fully powered down. And that engine sends you a bill. Researchers who study chronic stress call it allostatic load, the wear and tear a body collects from staying ready for a threat that rarely comes anymore. And your body has been keeping that receipt for years. The jaw you didn't know was clenched, the shoulders living up near your ears, the mind that won't switch off at 2 in the morning, even though nothing is wrong. Your perception was built inside an emergency. The emergency ended years ago, but the system that reads every room and braces for every shift is still running all day, whether the room is dangerous or completely safe. That's why so many people with this gift describe the same thing. Not weakness, exhaustion, a bone-deep tiredness that sleep never quite touches. There's a second cost, quieter than the first. When you're the most aware person in the room, you slowly start to feel responsible for the room. You manage the tension nobody else even sees. You fix things no one asked you to fix. Some trauma therapists describe a response beyond fight, flight, and freeze. A fourth one, sometimes called fawn, keeping everyone else okay so that you finally get to feel safe. From the outside, it looks like generosity, and often it truly is. But underneath, it can be a job you never applied for and never get to clock out of. And there's a third cost, the loneliest one. It is hard to be close to someone when you read them faster than they can reveal themselves. You see the contradiction before they've admitted it to their own reflection. You know what they'll say a half-second early, and you spend the whole conversation pretending you don't. You give people a depth of attention almost no one gives back. Not because they don't care, but because they can't return a signal they were never given the radar to send. So you end up unseen inside your own relationships, understanding everyone, quietly starving for the same in return. And here's the cruel twist. Sometimes that radar fires on the wrong person. You read a slow reply, a flat mood, one off day as a warning sign, and you quietly pull back from someone who was safe the whole time.
because danger was always easier for you to see than safety.
So here's the truth the title only half tells you. What you have was never intelligence for its own sake. It was a survival system, a brilliant one, precise and fast, and built for a world that no longer exists around you. The child who needed it isn't in danger anymore. But nobody told the system that. So it kept working. It kept scanning. It kept guarding you against a threat that packed its bags and left a long time ago. Your exhaustion isn't proof that something is broken in you. It's proof that a part of you has been standing guard, faithfully, at a post the war walked away from years ago. And that single reframe is the thing you can finally use. Because if the perception is a skill and the panic underneath it is only an old alarm, then for the first time the two can be pulled apart. You don't have the gift to put down the weight, but you need something more precise than just relax. So here is the actual move. Picture the moment, a message you sent hours ago, still sitting there unread, or someone's voice dropping half a step in the middle of a sentence. Your whole system lights up. That is exactly where 3 small steps go before you do anything at all. First, notice. Name it plainly to yourself. My body just reacted when their voice changed. Not good, not bad, just data. Then, verify. Ask the harder question. Did this person actually threaten me, reject me, or cross a real line? Or did that shift just remind me of something old? This is where the intelligence you already have finally works for you instead of against you, because you are checking the evidence instead of obeying the alarm. Then choose. Do I need to act right now, ask a question, wait for more information, or simply calm my body before I decide anything at all? Notice, verify, choose. It builds a small gap between what you perceive and how you react. And inside that gap, for the first time, your mind is no longer run entirely by fear. There's one more move, and it's the hardest. You've spent years being the one who reads everyone else. The quiet work now is letting one safe person, just one, read you back. Not the whole world. You don't owe everyone access. But the loneliness we talked about doesn't lift because you understand people better. It lifts the day you let yourself be understood, even a little, even clumsily. For a mind that learned safety meant handling everything alone, being seen on purpose is the bravest thing it will ever do. If any of this felt less like a video and more like someone reading your own inside voice out loud, tell me in the comments which sign or which cost hit the hardest. Say it plainly. Somebody scrolling past this, still sure they're the only one who's ever felt it, needs to read exactly what you write. Because there's one more layer we didn't open today, and it may be the most important of all. Not how to notice the alarm, but how to teach your whole system that the emergency is finally over. How a mind trained by its worst moments slowly learns to feel safe inside its most ordinary ones. If today named the problem, the next video is the beginning of the way out. I'll see you there. You were never too much. You were early, trained to see the storm coming while everyone around you only felt it years later. The seeing was never the problem. You were just never once told that the danger has passed and that you are finally allowed to rest.